In this video, we will discuss about SQL Server optimizer estimates for SQL Server queries where the predicate value is more than the last histogram step. We'll be using AdventureWorks DW database for this demo. Let's first look at the predicate. Let's first look at the statistics as far as column 4 is concerned. So we have this statistics on column 4. So if we execute this query and look at the last histogram step, we can see that the last value is, as far as this histogram is concerned, the last value is 11 January 2024. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert close to 75 rows onto table 1 with this particular value. The more important thing as far as this value is as for column 4, where I'm going to mention 10 January 2030, which is basically after the value that we have on the last histogram step. So I'm going to insert close to 75 rows. 2030, year 2030 is definitely after the last step here, which is 11 January 2024. And what I'll be doing is once I insert this 75 rows, I'll be running this particular query, which will have the predicate of this particular same value that I've inserted, which is 10 January 2030. And I will be looking at how did the optimizer come up with the estimate. So let's disable the actual execution plan and then let's insert 75 rows. So this is done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this query, which basically is going to come up with the count of rows on table 1, where the predicate column 4 equals to 10 January 2030, 9:30 p.m. 4 seconds. Okay, so let's execute that. Let's enable the execution plan and then execute the query one more time. So we can see that we are getting 75 rows, which is same as what we inserted before. So let's go to the cluster index scan and then let's look at the estimates. What I'm able to see is that the estimated number of rows per execution is 57.50. So now let's look at the DBCC SHOW STATISTICS output again and then see from where we got this 57.50 estimate value. So if you look at the query again, the execution plan, specifically on the cluster index scan on table 1, I'm able to see that there is an estimate of 57.5, which I have noted it down here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the statistics for column 4 and then let's execute this query. So what we basically have to do is it is since the value is off limits here, the last histogram step is for 11 January 2024 and the value that we are checking is after this, what will happen is we basically have to multiply the density value, all density value, with the number of rows on this particular table. So what we'll do is we will multiply the all density value, which I've taken here, with the number of rows that we have on this particular table, which is table 1, to come up with the estimate. So let's execute that. Okay, sorry. So let's execute the DBCC SHOW STATISTICS again. So I'm picking up the all density value and then multiplying that with the number of rows we have. If we do that, we get a value of 57.50, which is same as the estimate here. So what I will do now, we'll copy this query, put it here, and then run it side by side. If you execute that, you can see that the estimated number of rows for per execution is 57.5. And what we have done is like we multiplied the all density value with the number of rows, and we got the same value as 57.5. And this is how the query optimizer came up with the estimate. So it basically multiplied your all density value from the statistics with the number of rows and came up with the estimate when the predicate that we have used is basically outside of the last step on the histogram. Now, let's go back to the execution plan, and then if we see here, what I'm seeing is like the estimate is 57.5 and the number of rows returned is 75. We clearly understand like it is a lower estimate, and we also know the reason why we are getting this problem, because this particular step that we are talking is not at all present as far as the histogram step is concerned. So what we'll do now, let's go ahead and update the statistics with full scan. And once this is done, let's run this query again, and then let's go to the execution plan. And if we see here, this time the estimate is perfect. We estimate 75 rows and then we end up returning 75 rows. So what we'll do now, let's check the statistics one more time and then see if we have the entry for this particular value that we inserted. Yes, if you see here, we have inserted 10 January 2030, 9:30 p.m. 4 seconds. So we have this value here. So everything seems to be cool. So that is where we got our estimate, which is equivalent to 75. So if we look at this again, we estimated close to 75 rows and then we ended up returning 75 rows. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.